So let's talk about Chris Mangena, the South African Police Service's ballistics expert. Okay, he has 30 years experience in the South African Police Services. But what I want to mainly talk about is the differences between the Oscar Pistorius trial as well as the Senzo Meyiwa trial. What are the similarities? What are the differences? Because there's one similarity and one constant is that he's the ballistic expert in both cases. So let's go ahead and break it down. So make sure you stay till the end because I'm going to go into those differences. But let's first read this article, and it's titled, "I Never Doubted My Evidence," and it's by Lizega Tandwa from News 24, okay? So police ballistics expert Chris Mangena never doubted his evidence in the Oscar Pistorius murder trial, even though a high court judge did. And now he has been vindicated. But not only that, the sensational murder trial that was televised across the world has seen his career catapult, okay? Creating exciting new opportunities for Mangena as well as his unit. Mangena, who has since become the go-to person for criminal investigations, said he was unfazed by the High Court, not taking into account his testimony about the 4 bullet holes in the door of the toilet cubicle where Pistorius' girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp, was shot and killed.
Mangena said Steenkamp was standing facing the toilet door when the first bullet hit her right hip, breaking her hip and causing her to fall into a seated position on a magazine rack. The second bullet missed and broke into fragments as Steenkamp assumed a defensive position. One bullet then entered and exited her right arm. The fourth bullet passed through her left hand and entered the right side of her head.
"I was definitely sure he knew it was Riva behind that door," Mangena told News 24. "I could tell by the way the bullets went through the door, and the evidence I collected pointed to that fact. It was not just any intruder he was shooting at. It was Riva, and he meant to kill her. I just couldn't prove it." Ooh. He goes on to say, while he was disappointed that the High Court Judge Thokozile Masipa had dismissed his findings, he was confident of his work. "It didn't matter to me that she, Masipa, ignored my work. I gave evidence, I did the job, and I could sleep at night knowing that I did all I could to make sure that Riva did not die in vain," he continued. That's sounding very emotional, but you know what? Let's keep reading. "People can see now that the evidence I gave was vital to the case. The case is all that matters. The Supreme Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the state, setting aside the 2014 culpable homicide conviction by the High Court in Pretoria on Thursday. The Supreme Court of Appeals, Justice Eric Leach said Masipa ignored Mangena's evidence in her ruling. He said there was an absence of the appreciation of material evidence. Okay. He added that Mangena was of particular importance, but was seemingly ignored by the trial court. Ballistics investigations were crucial. I can't tell you how happy I am. This judgment further qualifies the work done by ballistics investigators, and it affirms the importance of evidence collection on the scene. As you've heard me say several times, the evidence in the Senzo Meyiwa trial at the crime scene was definitely contaminated." Let's continue reading on. The article goes on to say, "When I was called to the scene at Oscar's house, I was able to see a trail of evidence that no investigation..." Talk about confidence, but you know what? Let me read this properly. "When I was called to the scene at Oscar's house, I was able to see a trail of evidence that no investigating officer could. What I see on the scene is not the same as what investigating officers see. That is what changed the mood of the case," Mangena told News 24. A little while after the Pistorius murder trial, Mangena was promoted. Okay, Mangena was promoted to head of the Forensic Science Laboratories of South African Police Services, Detective Services, Ballistics Unit, Pretoria. The promotion is not only about Oscar. Yes, because of this case, my career catapulted. This case opened a lot of doors for me and the ballistics division. I travel to different parts of the country and help solve cases now. More often than not, it's the courts who want us to investigate because of the work done with Oscar. Okay. It's opened a lot of doors for me and my team. The challenge now is to live up to the pressure of this work, he says. And pressure it surely is. Because is he cracking in the Senzo Meyiwa trial under pressure? Let me know in the comment section down below. Article continues on to say, Mangena said he would celebrate the judgment with his team when his work was done in Durban. Unfortunately, we don't have much time to celebrate because we have to jump from case to case. My superiors haven't called to congratulate me yet. Listen, this Mangena guy is a character and a half, if you ask me. But it goes on to say, but we will see if we can have a small celebration of good police work, he said. Mangena is currently working on another high-profile case in Durban. The article ends. So this is what I wanted to bring to your attention. So I'm going to put in a separate video because it's going to be long. I'm going to put Mangena's testimony and you guys can get to watch that. But these are the differences and similarities that I noticed in the Senzo Meyiwa trial versus the Oscar Pistorius trial. First of all, in the Oscar Pistorius trial, the shooter is known. Okay? In the Senzo Meyiwa trial, the shooter is not known. There's some guesswork, there's some assumptions, there's some stories about intrude and Dondonis. For now, the evidence for me, I will leave it at the shooter is unknown. The second thing is the firearm. In the Oscar case, the firearm is known. In the Senzo Meyiwa trial, the firearm is assumed to be a 9mm. It's assumed to be a 9mm that was found in possession of accused number 3 together with ammunition. Unlawful possession, that is. And that was not found at the crime scene. That was not found a few days later. That was found 6 years later. 6 years later, they found the alleged murder weapon that was used in the Senzo Meyiwa trial by the intruders. The intruders being the 5 who are sitting in the dock, according to the state's case, CAS 636 of 2014. Let's keep going. Next, in the Oscar case, there were cartridges at the scene, okay? They were cartridges at the scene. In the Senzo Meyiwa trial, there are absolutely no cartridges at the scene, even though this ballistic expert, Mr. Chris Mangena, is saying it was a 9mm caliber that was used. A 9mm caliber should shoot out cartridges. None were found at the crime scene, and he is saying this is possibly because it was a close contact shot, and then the calibers stayed inside the gun, but how did the second bullet get fired? You know, I'm not a ballistic expert, but these are the questions that I'm asking as the layman, okay, members of the jury. One more difference with the Oscar case, 4 shots were fired through the door. This is actually a similarity. This in both situations, in both crime scenes, there were doors involved. In the Oscar trial, in the Oscar crime scene, 4 shots were fired through the toilet door. It was a closed toilet door. 4 shots were fired, and 2 of those shots hit Riva. One being the fatal shot, the other one hit the wall, and the fragments from that bullet hitting the wall hit Riva in the back, and then Oscar fired again through the door, and this time it hit her in the hand, and then by hitting her in the hand, it went through the hand. Her hand was on her head, and the bullet went through her hand and also through her skull, and that was the fatal shot. Another shot was fired where it hit her in her chest. I think it hit her in her hand, almost by the arm, I would say by the arm, and then it penetrated her chest. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but you can fact check me down in the comment section down below, because I know one thing: the Red Pen gang is always ready to correct me. Okay, so there were 4 shots fired in the Oscar crime scene and in the Senzo Meyiwa crime scene. According to the ballistics expert, is that there were 2 shots fired. One was shot in a 90-degree angle. It hit the towel on the floor, and it damaged the bullet beyond recognition, that it couldn't be tested for anything. Okay, that's the first bullet. Bullet number 2, okay? Bullet number 2, is the magical bullet, okay? This is the bullet that did the boomerang, okay? This is the bullet that hit Senzo Meyiwa. It went through his chest. So Senzo Meyiwa was facing the shooter with his back to the door. The bullet went through Senzo Meyiwa's chest, and then there's an exit wound. The bullet left Senzo Meyiwa's body, and then it touched the door a little bit, okay? And then it went outside, and somehow, I'm not understanding the science, but then the bullet came back. Okay, maybe there was some wind or some strong force, but the bullet came back into the house from outside. And when it came back, it magically landed very nice and neatly by the glasses, and it just placed itself so conveniently. None of the glasses were shattered or moved out of place. And that is why I've coined them the what? The bulletproof glasses. May the Kumalos let us know where they shop for those glasses, because, they're of a different quality, very, very unique quality. But so that's 2 bullets, right, that I've explained to you, that are what Mr. Ballistic Expert Chris Mangena is saying happened. But according to Ngome Zulu, okay, Advocate Ngome Zulu, the advocate for accused number 1, Umuzi Sibia, is saying no. There were 3 shots fired. One being, yes, the 90-degree one that hit the floor and also hit Uzandi. The second one being the bullet that shot Senzo Meyiwa. The third one, ladies and gentlemen, the third bullet is the bullet that Ulongwe Twala, because Ungomezulu is saying Longwe Twala is the shooter, okay? There's no intruder. Longwe Twala is the shooter. Longwe shot himself in the foot, I guess, during the scuffle, and he left with that bullet. That's why that bullet does not exist in the evidencing of the evidences. A few weeks later, his foot becomes septic with that bullet still intact, and then he goes to the doctor. Doctor refers him to another doctor, and that bullet is removed. And allegedly, apparently, okay, Longwe Twala has got scars on his leg from that bullet, and Ngome Zulu will call the unnamed witnesses to prove that point. Of course, we already know Chico Twala lost his mind and has given a reaction to everything that happens in court whenever his name is mentioned. So those are the differences that I picked up with the Oscar crime scene and the Senzo Meyiwa crime scene over there at the Spaza house by the Kumalos, okay? Let me know in the comment section down below some similarities and differences that I might have missed out. But you know what? If you've made it this far in the video, you absolutely have my heart. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll definitely catch you on my next upload. I'm going to sign off here. I'm not sure if I'm going to add the video. No, it's going to be too long. I'll do the Oscar, the Chris Mangena witness testimony in the Oscar trial in a separate video. Okay, so you're going to watch that in one sitting, and then I'll be back with more commentary per usual. Meet you later on today. That's it from me. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers. Are you going to be a part of the 40,000? Thanks so much for watching. Catch you on my next upload.